Maplewood Falls wasn't the kind of town that begged for attention. Nestled between rolling hills and a lazy river that shimmered gold at dusk, it was a postcard of small-town America. Neat lawns, white picket fences, and the occasional American flag flapping in the breeze. The air carried the scent of fresh-cut grass and the distant hum of a lawnmower, a rhythm as steady as the heartbeat of the place. It was July 3rd, 2022, and the town was gearing up for its annual 4th of July block party. A celebration of flags, fireworks, and unspoken rules that kept everything just so. Into this quiet perfection rolled a battered moving truck, its engine rumbling like a stranger's cough in a silent room. Behind the wheel sat Jamal Williams, a man in his mid-40s, with a broad frame and a quiet confidence etched into his features. His short-cropped hair glistened with a sheen of sweat as he maneuvered the truck down Elm Street, past rows of curious eyes peeking through lace curtains. He wasn't here to make waves, just to start over. After 15 years policing the chaotic streets of St. Louis, Jamal had traded urban grit for small-town peace, or so he thought. With him was his 10-year-old daughter, Aisha, her nose pressed against the passenger window, counting the fire hydrants they passed. The truck pulled into the driveway of 27 Elm Street, a modest two-story house with chipped paint and a sagging porch. Nothing fancy, but it was theirs. Jamal stepped out, stretching his arms, and surveyed the scene. A few boxes spilled from the truck's open back, a welcome mat lay crooked on the doorstep, and a basketball rolled lazily into the grass. It wasn't pristine, but it was home. Aisha hopped out, clutching a stuffed giraffe, her eyes wide with the promise of a new adventure. Across the street, Karen Caldwell watched from her pristine lawn, her arms crossed like a sentinel guarding a fortress. At 58, Karen was the unofficial queen of Maplewood Falls' unspoken order. Her hair, dyed a fierce blonde, was pulled into a tight bun, and her lips pursed as she clocked every detail of Jamal's arrival. Beside her stood Peter Martin, a wiry man in his 60s, fiddling with a faded baseball cap. Peter was Karen's shadow, less bold, more hesitant, but loyal to her crusade. Together, they were the neighborhood's self-appointed enforcers, a duo who turned minor infractions into major campaigns. "He's already a mess," Karen muttered, her hawkish eyes narrowing at the scattered boxes. "That yard's an eyesore. We've got the block party tomorrow, and this won't do." Peter shifted his weight, glancing at Jamal unloading a chair. "Maybe he's just settling in, Karen. Give him a day." "A day?" Karen snapped, her voice sharp enough to slice through the summer heat. "This town's charm is its standards, Peter. You let one person slack, and the whole place unravels. I'm not having it." Peter sighed, knowing resistance was futile. Karen's obsession with perfection wasn't new. She'd once fined a kid for leaving a skateboard on his porch, citing visual clutter. Most folks tolerated her because she meant well, sort of. But beneath her rules lay a deeper need: control. Ever since her husband left 5 years ago, Karen had clung to Maplewood Falls like a lifeline, shaping it into the order she couldn't find in her own life. As Jamal carried a lamp inside, oblivious to the brewing storm, Karen made up her mind. "We're handling this, now." The sun dipped lower, painting the sky in streaks of orange and pink, as Jamal and Aisha unpacked. She chattered about where to hang her glow-in-the-dark stars, her voice a bright thread in the evening's calm. Jamal smiled, grateful for her energy. St. Louis had been a grind, late nights, gunfire echoing through alleys, and the constant weight of a badge he'd worn with pride but also exhaustion. Maplewood Falls was supposed to be different. A fresh start, a place where Aisha could ride her bike without him scanning every corner for trouble. He didn't notice Karen and Peter approaching until Aisha tugged his sleeve. "Dad, who's that lady? She looks mad." Jamal turned, wiping sweat from his brow, and saw Karen striding across his lawn like she owned it. She wore a star-spangled apron, ironic given the occasion, and carried a clipboard. Peter trailed behind, clutching a flashlight he'd fashioned into a makeshift authority tool, its beam flickering weakly. They stopped a few feet from Jamal, Karen planting her feet as if staking a claim. "Excuse me, sir," Karen began, her tone clipped and commanding. "I'm Karen Caldwell, chair of the Maplewood Falls Neighborhood Committee. This," she gestured at the yard with a flourish, "is unacceptable. Boxes everywhere, that ball in the grass, the truck blocking the curb. We have standards here, especially with the 4th tomorrow. You'll need to clean this up immediately." Jamal blinked, caught off guard but not rattled. He'd faced worse than a clipboard-wielding busybody. "Ma'am, I just got here yesterday. I'm still unpacking. It'll get sorted." Karen's smirk tightened. "That's not how it works. Rules are rules. You either tidy this up now, or we'll handle it ourselves. We've got authority here." "Authority?" Jamal raised an eyebrow, crossing his arms. Aisha peeked from behind him, clutching her giraffe, her brow furrowed. Peter stepped forward, nervous but committed. Yeah, we're kinda like the HOA enforcement team. We keep things in line." He flashed the flashlight for emphasis, though it dimmed mid-swing. Jamal fought a laugh. "HOA enforcement? With a flashlight? Look, I'm not trying to ruffle feathers. I'll get to the yard when I can. But I've got a kid to settle in, and it's been a long day." Karen's eyes narrowed, sensing defiance. "You don't get it, do you? This isn't a suggestion. We've got bylaws. Section 3, Paragraph 4. All properties must maintain aesthetic uniformity. You're in violation. I could have you fined." "Fined?" Jamal's tone stayed even, but a spark of amusement flickered in his eyes. "By who? You?" "By us," Karen snapped, tapping her clipboard. "We've got the neighborhood's backing. Right, Peter?" Peter nodded weakly, muttering, "Well, some folks, yeah." A small crowd had gathered, neighbors drawn by the 4th of July buzz, and now this unexpected drama. Mrs. Henderson, an elderly widow, clutched her lemonade pitcher, whispering to Mr. Patel, the local barber. A teenage boy, Tommy, filmed it all on his phone, grinning like he'd struck YouTube gold. Karen, emboldened by the audience, upped the ante. "If you won't comply, we'll escalate this. I've got a contact at the sheriff's office. One call, and you'll wish you'd listened." Jamal tilted his head, a slow smile spreading. "The sheriff, huh? That's interesting." Isha giggled, tugging his arm. "Dad, tell her." "Not yet, kiddo," he whispered, then faced Karen. "Go ahead, make your call." Karen smirked, pulling out her phone with theatrical flair. "You asked for it." She dialed, pacing as the line rang. Peter shifted uneasily, sensing something off but too late to stop her. The crowd grew, the murmur rising like cicadas on a summer night. Karen's call connected and she launched into her spiel. "Yes, Deputy Harris? This is Karen Caldwell from Maplewood Falls. We've got a new resident causing trouble, refusing to follow basic rules. I need the sheriff out here to sort this out. 27 Elm Street. Yes, now." She hung up, triumphant. "He's on his way, you'll see." Jamal leaned against his truck, unfazed. "Can't wait." Minutes ticked by, the tension thickening. Aisha sat on the porch steps, swinging her legs while Tommy's camera stayed rolling. Then a sheriff's cruiser rolled up, its lights off but its presence unmistakable. Deputy Harris, a lanky man with a sunburned nose, stepped out, scanning the scene. Karen rushed over. "Deputy, thank goodness. This man," she jabbed a finger at Jamal, "is disrupting our community. He won't comply with regulations. We need him dealt with." Harris frowned, glancing at Jamal, who gave a slight nod. "That's so? What's he done?" "Cluttered his yard, blocked the street, defied us," Karen said, voice rising. "He's new and already a problem." Harris scratched his head, then turned to Jamal. "Sir, you got anything to say?" Jamal straightened, his calm unshaken. "Yeah, I'm Jamal Williams. Moved in yesterday with my daughter, just trying to unpack. These two," he nodded at Karen and Peter, "seem to think they're the law around here." Harris chuckled, a low, knowing sound. "Well, that's funny, 'cause last I checked, the law's my boss. And my boss," he stepped aside, gesturing to Jamal, "is standing right here." A ripple of gasps swept the crowd. Karen froze, her clipboard slipping. Peter's flashlight clattered to the ground. Tommy zoomed in, whispering, "No way." "What?" Karen sputtered. You're the sheriff?" Jamal reached into his pocket, pulling out a badge that gleamed in the fading light. "Sheriff Jamal Williams, Maplewood County. Took the job last month, thought I'd settle in quiet like, but seems that's not an option." Aisha clapped, bouncing up. "Told you, Dad's the boss." The crowd erupted, some laughing, others clapping. Mrs. Henderson called out, "Serves you right, Karen." Mr. Patel shook his head, grinning. Karen's face flushed crimson. I didn't know. We were just enforcing the rules." Jamal finished, his tone firm but not cruel. "Look, I get it. You love this town, but you don't get to play cop or sheriff. That's my job, and I don't bully people over a few boxes." Peter shuffled forward, hands raised. "We didn't mean no harm, Sheriff. Karen, maybe we should." "Quiet, Peter," Karen hissed, then softened, her bravado cracking. We thought we were protecting the place." Jamal nodded, stepping closer. "Protecting's fine, but respect goes both ways. You don't know me, my story, or why I'm here. I've spent years keeping peace, real peace, not this petty stuff. I'm not here to tear Maplewood Falls down. I'm here to live in it, with my kid." Aisha waved at Karen, her smile disarming. Karen's shoulders slumped, the fight draining out of her. The next day, the 4th of July, dawned bright and blazing. Elm Street buzzed with preparations, tables laden with potato salad, flags fluttering, and a banner proclaiming Maplewood Falls stronger together. Jamal and Aisha joined the fray, him in a casual polo, her with red, white, and blue ribbons in her hair. The confrontation lingered in the air, but the mood was lighter, curious. Karen approached, hesitant, a pie in her hands. "Sheriff Williams, Jamal, I baked this. Cherry? Thought maybe a peace offering?" Jamal took it, his smile genuine. "Appreciate it, Karen. No hard feelings. Just keep the flashlight squad in check, all right?" She managed a laugh, fragile but real. "I've been too hard on folks. Lost sight of what matters. Community's not just rules, it's people." Peter nodded, tipping his cap. "She's right. Sorry, Sheriff. Tommy's video hit YouTube that night. Fake HOA Cops versus Real Sheriff, racking up views. Maplewood Falls learned its lesson. Authority isn't self-made, and respect isn't demanded. It's earned." For Jamal, it was a bumpy start, but a start nonetheless. Aisha summed it up best, whispering as fireworks burst overhead, "Dad, this place is gonna be fun."